Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to install a webcam server on a Raspberry Pi. So first thing we're going to do is install or download the Raspbian image for the Raspberry Pi. So just a quick Google search will give us that. I'll also have the links in the description. So at the time of recording, Raspbian Jesse, that's the newest version. So we're just going to download that. And once you're done downloading that image, you're going to want to download the Win32 disk imagery. This is the program that you use to get the image of the OS onto the SD card that you put in your Raspberry Pi. So once you download that, we don't have an SD card reader with us today, but it will show up in your device menu here. Now make sure you pick the SD card, because if you pick your hard drive, you're going to completely format it, and that won't be good. In this area here, you browse for the image that you downloaded, and after you select that, you just click write, and it will put that image onto the SD card. Alright, so now we booted up our Raspberry Pi with our SD card image. So what we're going to do is open up the terminal. And we already have Motion installed on this, but for the first time that you're doing this, obviously, you're going to want to put in sudo apt-get install Motion. You do that, it'll install Motion for you. Now, before we start up Motion, get our webcam server set, we need to configure a few things first. So we're going to open up the configuration file for Motion, which, if it was installed properly, will be in this path.
Sorry, we made a slight mistake, but that's how we open it now.
Alright, so now we've got our Motion configuration file open. So the first thing you want to change is that daemon. It's going to, on default, be off. We're going to want to type on. So that's already done. So now we're going to want to change our resolution, depending on your supported resolution that your webcam can handle. So the webcam we're using can handle 640 by 480. Just below that is frame rate. You're going to want to change that to 100. That will, allow your webcam motion to be nice and smooth. It won't just look like pictures that are being taken.
However, there's still going to be a delay.
Further down our configuration file, you're going to find global network options. So what you're going to want to change here is the stream max rate. That's the maximum frame rate that the webcam is going to show over the server. So you're going to want to change that to 30, or if your webcam supports 60, by all means pick 60, but be advised that it will take up more bandwidth the higher frames that you select. And another one you're going to want to change is the stream_localhost. That's going to, by default, be on. You're going to want to turn that off. That way you can access the webcam server not just from your local host, but from any computer on the network. Further down, you're going to find HTTP-based control. We're only going to change one thing here, which is the web control_localhost, which is by default on. We're going to change that off for the same reason, just so that we can access it from any computer, not just the local host.
Starting now.
Alright, so after you change those are the things I changed. There's a lot of options there, so it's best if you want to go through them and see what would work best for you. After you're done, just hit Control-X, that will exit. It will prompt you to save, so you just save it, you're good to go. Another file that we're going to have to change is the actual Motion file itself. So just the same file path as before, but we're going to have default here /Motion, and it's a very short file, as you can tell. All we're changing here is, by default, that's no. Just put that to yes. Same thing. We're just going to exit. It's going to prompt you to save. You save it, and now we can start up our server. Now, before we start our server, I just want to remind you that if you do start your server, and your webcam turns off after about 10 seconds, sometime between 5 and 10 seconds, and you can't reload your webcam server, you might need to disable your USB audio drivers. So I'll just show you the code for that. It's sudo mobprobe-r. Now for me, for my Raspberry Pi, this is the name of the driver that I need to disable. You can type in lsmod, and that will show you your list of drivers, and you just have to find your USB audio driver. So after you put in that command, that will disable your audio drivers. So after you disable those audio drivers, you can now start up your webcam server, which is motion sudo service start. Alright. Your webcam server should now be online, and to turn it off once you're done with it, it's the same command except stop instead of start. So now we're going to go over to our computer and see if our webcam server is up. Now to check to see if it's up, you're going to want to go up here. It'll show you your IP address right up here. So you're going to want to go to that IP address on your web browser. So now that our webcam server is started, we're going to go to a computer in our lab here, and this is our webcam server. Now there is a bit of a delay, as previously stated, and it might not quite be 30 frames per second, but that could just be a bandwidth problem. One thing you also want to ensure is that along with the IP address of the Pi, you're also going to want the port number that you specified in the configuration file. So yeah, now you have a webcam server using a Raspberry Pi that can connect to any computer in your network. So any of these computers can connect to this server. Thanks for watching.